The massive alien ship appeared without warning. One moment, Earth's skies were clear. The next, a vessel larger than any human structure ever built hung above the Pacific Ocean. Its dark metal surface absorbed light rather than reflected it, making it look like a hole cut into reality itself. All across Earth, people stopped and stared upward. Phones rang in government offices. Military bases went on high alert. News channels showed nothing else. Captain Tahan sat quietly in a small meeting room at Space Command headquarters. As the head of Earth's first deep space mission, he had been called back from leave when the ship appeared. Now he waited, watching the screens showing the alien vessel. "Captain Han," said General Park as she entered the room. "They have made contact." Ta stood up. "What did they say?" "They call themselves the Galactic Hegemony. They want to meet with Earth's leaders." The general's face was tight with worry. "They have asked for one representative to go to their ship. The world leaders have chosen you." "Me?" Todd was surprised. "Why not a president or prime minister?" "They say you must go in 6 hours. They will send a small ship to collect you." General Park handed him a tablet. "These are your instructions. Our scientists believe this is a standard first contact approach for them. They have likely done this hundreds of times with other worlds." Tai read through the information quickly. "So I am to show respect and listen to their terms?" "Yes. Our only goal is to buy time. We need to understand what we are dealing with." 5 hours later, Ta stood on a landing pad wearing his formal military uniform. A small craft descended from the massive ship above. It landed without a sound, and a door opened in its side. Tai took a deep breath and walked inside. The journey was short. Soon, Ta found himself walking down a long hallway inside the main ship. 2 tall, thin beings with blue-gray skin guided him. They did not speak. The hallway opened into a vast room. Ta saw at least 30 different types of beings standing in groups. Some looked almost human. Others had multiple limbs or strange body shapes. All were arranged in lines facing a raised platform. One of his guides pointed to an empty spot in the front row. Ta walked there and stood still. Minutes passed. Then a door opened on the platform, and a hush fell over the room. She walked in slowly, with purpose in every step. Ta knew immediately this was the leader. She was tall, with dark purple skin that seemed to shimmer. Her eyes were large and completely black. She wore what looked like armor made of some unknown material that caught the light in strange ways. "The Empress Jia of the Galactic Hegemony greets you all," said a voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once. "Bow before her greatness." All around Tai, the alien representatives dropped to their knees. Some pressed their heads to the floor. Others bent at strange angles. But all of them bowed. Tai remained standing. One of his guides hissed at him, "Bow to the Empress." Tai thought of his instructions, of the need to show respect and buy time. He thought of Earth, so small and vulnerable compared to this vast alien power. Then he thought of his grandfather's words, "A person who bows too easily will find it hard to stand up again." Ta kept his back straight and his eyes forward. The room grew very quiet. The Empress Jia stepped to the edge of the platform and looked directly at him. Her black eyes seemed to see through him. "Who is this that does not bow?" Her voice was soft, but carried across the entire room. "I am Captain Tahan of Earth," he said clearly. "I come with respect, but on Earth, we stand as equals when we meet for the first time." A murmur ran through the crowd. Some of the aliens looked shocked. Others seemed afraid. The Empress studied him for a long moment. Then, to everyone's surprise, her mouth curved in what might have been a smile. "How interesting," she said. "In 10,000 years, this is new." She turned to address the room. "The terms of integration will be delivered to each world. You are dismissed." As the others filed out, Tai was held back by his guides. The Empress had not taken her eyes off him. "Except for Earth," she said. "For Earth, I think we need to talk more." Tai stood alone in a small room with walls that seemed to shift colors. The other alien representatives had left hours ago, each carrying terms of surrender back to their worlds. But Tai had been kept waiting. The door slid open. A tall figure with gray skin and 4 arms entered. "I am Advisor Cole," the alien said. "The Empress wishes to speak with you privately." "This is most unusual." Ta nodded but said nothing. He followed the advisor down a long hallway that curved gently upward. They passed guards with weapons Ta had never seen before. They entered a room with a large window showing Earth below. The blue planet looked small and far away from here. Empress Jia stood with her back to the door, looking at Earth. She wore simpler clothes now, though still made of the strange shimmering material. "Leave us," she said, and Advisor Cole quickly left. The Empress turned to face Ta. "In 10,000 years of expansion, no one has ever refused to bow to me." "I meant no disrespect," Ta said. "Yet you did not follow custom." "It is not my custom." The Empress stepped closer to him. She was taller than Ta by at least a head. "Do you know what happens to worlds that join the hegemony?" she asked. "I can guess," Ta said. "They give up their freedom. They'd follow your rules. They pay you taxes or resources. They survive," the Empress corrected. "The galaxy is cruel. We offer protection." "At what cost?" The Empress made a sound that might have been a laugh. "You ask questions no one else dares to ask." She walked to a table and pressed a button. A map of the galaxy appeared in the air above it. "This is my empire," she said. "Over 8,000 worlds. All safe under my rule. All bowing to you," Tai added. "Yes." She studied his face. "Your world is primitive. You have barely left your own solar system. You should be easy to conquer." Todd felt a chill, but kept his face calm. "Yet you have not sent your armies." "Not yet." The Empress pressed another button, and the map vanished. "Instead, I offer a challenge." "What kind of challenge?" 3 trials. If humans pass them, you may join the hegemony with special status. You will keep some of your independence. And if we fail, then you will bow, or you will be destroyed. Tai thought carefully before answering. This was not what he had expected. "Why offer us this chance?" The Empress turned back to the window. "Perhaps I am curious. Perhaps I am bored after 10,000 years of the same thing." "What are these trials?" "Knowledge, strength, and a third you will discover." She turned back to him. "You have 7 days to prepare. Then my ships will come for your chosen representatives." "I need to discuss this with my leaders," Ta said. "Of course, you will return to Earth now." As Tai turned to leave, the Empress spoke again. "Captain Ta Han." He looked back at her. "Most species either fight and lose, or bow immediately. Neither path is interesting. Your path. I am curious to see where it leads." Back on Earth, leaders from every nation gathered to hear Ta's report. The meeting room was filled with tense faces and worried whispers. "She offers us a chance," Tai explained. 3 trials. "It's a trap," said one general. "They want to study our capabilities before they attack." "Maybe," said President Lee. "But it buys us time. Time we desperately need." "We should surrender now," argued another leader. "Look at their technology. We have no chance." Ta showed them the recordings he had made. "The Empress is interested in us because we're different. I think that gives us an advantage." "Different how?" asked Dr. Yun Min, Earth's leading xenobiologist. "We don't bow easily," Ta said. The debate continued for hours. Some wanted to prepare for war. Others wanted to surrender. In the end, they decided to accept the challenge while secretly building defenses. President Lee took Tai aside after the meeting. "You'll lead our team for these trials." "Yes, Madam President." "Choose your people carefully," she said. "The fate of our world depends on it." As Tai left the building, he looked up at the night sky. The huge alien ship was still visible, a dark shape blocking the stars. "What are you really after?" he whispered, thinking of the Empress's black eyes watching him. He had 6 days to prepare for a challenge he didn't understand, against an empire that had conquered thousands of worlds. But for the first time in his life, Ta felt that standing his ground might have made a difference. 7 days passed quickly. Ta had chosen his team carefully. Dr. Yun Min, the brilliant scientist, Sung Ji, the combat specialist, 3 others with different skills. All of them now stood on the landing pad where a hegemony shuttle waited. Remember, Ta told them, we represent all of humanity. The journey to the main ship was silent. Each team member lost in their own thoughts about what might lie ahead. When they arrived, Advisor Cole met them. The first trial begins soon. Follow me. They walked through long corridors until they reached a large room filled with strange devices. Representatives from 3 other alien species were already there. They looked at the humans with mixtures of curiosity and pity. The trial of knowledge tests your ability to understand the universe, Cole explained. Each team will solve a series of puzzles. The team that solves the most will be ranked highest. Empress Jia entered the room. Everyone except Tai and his team immediately bowed. The Empress noticed this, and her black eyes seemed to shine with amusement. Begin, she said simply. The first puzzle appeared on a screen in front of each team. It showed a complex system of moving parts that made no sense to Ta. Dr. Yun stepped forward. This is like a star map, but the relationships are wrong. She touched the screen, moving pieces around. How do you know? Tai asked. The pattern, she said. It's like music. It needs to flow correctly. The other alien teams worked in perfect unison, following what seemed like practiced methods. Their movements were efficient but stiff. Hours passed. The puzzles grew harder. One showed energy flowing through an unknown material. Another displayed mathematical symbols no human had ever seen. Tan noticed something strange. The other teams all used the same approach for each puzzle, like they were taught one way to think. Dr. Yun nodded. But we try different ways when we get stuck. When a particularly difficult puzzle appeared, the human team fell behind. The alien teams moved ahead, solving it with practiced ease. We can't solve this their way, Dr. Yun said with frustration. Then we solve it our way, Tai decided. Forget what we think they want. Let's think like humans. They began discussing wildly different approaches. One team member suggested turning the puzzle upside down. Another thought about it as a music pattern. Dr. Yun suddenly saw connections no one had noticed. That's it, she said, quickly rearranging the pieces. The screen flashed green. They had solved it in a completely different way than the other teams. Advisor Cole looked surprised. Empress Jia, watching from above, leaned forward with interest. The final puzzle was the hardest. It showed a complex system that seemed to have no solution. The other teams worked methodically, trying the same approaches that had worked before. The human team struggled until Tai said, "What if we're not supposed to solve it? What if we're supposed to change it?" Dr. Yun's eyes widened. Systems can be redesigned, not just solved. She began restructuring the entire puzzle, creating a new system that worked better than the original. The screen hesitated, then flashed green. Advisor Cole looked shocked. That is not how this puzzle is meant to be solved. But it worked, Ta said. The Empress descended from her viewing platform and approached the human team. Interesting, she said, studying their screen. You did not follow the standard methods taught throughout the hegemony. We weren't taught your methods, Dr. Yun said. Perhaps that is your advantage, the Empress replied. You think differently. She turned to address all teams. The trial of knowledge is complete. The Earth team has shown unusual approaches but effective results. They will advance to the next trial. As they left the room, Ta noticed the other alien representatives watching them with new expressions. Not pity now, but confusion and perhaps a touch of fear. Why do they seem afraid? One of his team members asked. Because we didn't follow their rules, but we still succeeded, Ta said. And that makes them question everything they've been taught. Back in their quarters, the team celebrated cautiously. One trial passed, 2 more to go. What do you think the Empress really wants? Dr. Yun asked Ta quietly. Ta thought about the Empress's black eyes watching them. I think she's looking for something. And somehow, we might be it. 3 days after the first trial, Tai and his team were led to a new area of the massive ship. This section had high ceilings and wide open spaces. It looked like an arena. The trial of strength tests your physical abilities and combat skills, Advisor Cole explained. Each team will face challenges designed to push their limits. Specialist Sung Jae stepped forward. This was why Ta had chosen her. She had been the top fighter in Earth's defense forces for 5 years. What are the rules? Sung asked. Victory or defeat. Nothing else matters, Cole replied. Other alien teams entered the arena. One group had thick armor-like skin. Another moved with incredible speed. The third had 4 arms each, perfect for combat. The Empress arrived and took her seat above the arena. Again, only the humans remained standing while others bowed. Begin, she commanded. The first challenge was a race through an obstacle course filled with traps. The fast aliens took an early lead, but the course changed as they ran, becoming more difficult. They're adapting it to each team's strengths, Tae realized, making it harder for those who should find it easy. Sung was not the fastest, but she was smart. She watched the course changing and predicted the patterns. When walls rose up, she was already moving around them. When the floor dropped away, she had already jumped. The human team finished second, surprising everyone. The next challenge involved lifting and moving heavy objects. The team with 4 arms excelled at this, but Sung showed the humans how to work together, using leverage and teamwork to move what no single human could. They finished third, still respectable. The final challenge is combat, Cole announced. Todd felt his stomach tighten. This would be the hardest part. Each team will select one champion to face a hegemony warrior, Cole continued. Sung stepped forward without hesitation. I will fight. The hegemony warrior entered the arena. It was tall with metallic scales covering its body. It carried no weapons, but its hands ended in sharp claws. The first alien champion fought bravely, but was defeated quickly. The second lasted longer, but still lost. The third put up a good fight, but was ultimately thrown to the ground. Then it was Sung's turn. She looked small compared to the warrior, but she showed no fear. Your species is physically weak, the warrior said. You should surrender now. We may be weaker, Sung replied, but we are smarter. The fight began. The warrior charged at Sung, but she moved at the last second, using the warrior's momentum against it. The warrior stumbled but quickly recovered. Todd watched nervously. Sung was fast and skilled, but the warrior was stronger and had natural armor. The battle continued, with Sung avoiding direct hits and landing quick strikes when possible. She targeted the same spots repeatedly, looking for weaknesses. After a particularly hard blow, Sung fell to one knee. The warrior moved in for the final strike. But Sung had been waiting for this. She rolled under the warrior's arm and struck a point she had hit several times before. This time, the warrior howled in pain. Every armor has a weak point, Sung said. I just had to find yours. The warrior attacked wildly now, angry and in pain. Sung used this anger against it, letting the warrior tire itself out. Then she struck again at the same weak point. The warrior fell to its knees. Finish it, Cole commanded from the sidelines. Sung looked at the fallen warrior, then at Ta. Ta gave a small shake of his head. No, Sung said. On Earth, we show mercy to defeated opponents. The arena went silent. Even the Empress leaned forward in her seat. Sung reached out her hand to the warrior. Can you stand? The warrior looked confused, but took her hand and rose. The fight is over, Sung announced. We both live to fight another day. Cole looked angry. This is not our way. But it is ours, Ta said. The Empress stood. The trial of strength is complete. The Earth team has shown unexpected compassion, an interesting quality. As they left the arena, Ta noticed a small group of aliens watching them with intense interest. They were not dressed like the others. One of them nodded to Ta before disappearing into a corridor. I think we have an audience beyond the Empress, Tai told Sun quietly. Friends or enemies? She asked. I don't know yet, Tai replied. But in the hegemony, I suspect everyone has secrets. That night, Ta found a message in his quarters. It contained just 3 words. Not everyone bows. Ta could not sleep. The message kept running through his mind. Not everyone bows. Someone in the hegemony was trying to tell him something important. Early the next morning, he was surprised when a small alien with pale blue skin entered his quarters without knocking. Follow me, the alien said quietly. The Empress requests your presence. Only you. Ta followed the alien through parts of the ship he had never seen before. They took service corridors and back passages rather than the main halls. Why are we taking this route? Tai asked. Fewer eyes, the alien replied simply. They arrived at a small door, nothing like the grand entrances the Empress usually used. Inside was a simple room with a table and 2 chairs. The Empress sat in one, looking different than Tai had ever seen her. She wore no fancy clothes or armor, just a plain dark suit. Her black eyes seemed tired. Sit, Captain Tai, she said. Tai sat across from her but remained alert. Do you know why I chose not to simply conquer your world? The Empress asked. You said you were curious about us. Yes, but curious about what? She studied his face. You've noticed things during your time here. Tell me what you've seen. Tai thought carefully before answering. This felt like a test. I've seen a society that values obedience above all else. I've seen aliens who follow without question, and who think in the same ways. And I've seen a small few who watch from the shadows, who seem different. The Empress nodded slowly. Very good. And what do you think this means? I think not everyone in the hegemony is happy with how things are, Ta said. I think there might be resistance. Resistance, the Empress repeated the word. Yes, that is one way to put it. She stood and touched a hidden panel on the wall. A secret door opened. What I show you now, I have shown no other representative of any world during first contact. Ta followed her through the door into a small room filled with strange objects. In the center was a display showing what looked like a planet being destroyed. This was my home world, the Empress said. It was called Kirill. It was destroyed 8,000 years ago by the previous rulers of what is now my hegemony. Tai tried to hide his shock. You're not the original ruler. No, I was once like you, Captain Ta, a representative of a world that refused to bow. Her black eyes held his. I was the only survivor. How did you become Empress? Slowly, carefully. I pretended to accept their rule. I rose through their ranks. And when the time was right, I took control. Why are you telling me this? Because the trial of character has been ongoing since you first arrived on this ship. She touched the display, and it showed recordings of Tai and his team. You did not bow. Your specialist showed mercy. Your scientist thought differently. All qualities the hegemony tried to destroy in my people. Ta began to understand. You've been testing our character, not just our abilities. Yes, the hegemony has become what it once fought against. Rigid, cruel. I have maintained the facade while working to change things from within. She looked tired again. But it has been thousands of years, and I have made little progress alone. You're looking for allies, Tai realized. I need people who will not bow to unjust power, but who also understand mercy and new ways of thinking. People who might help reform the hegemony from within. Tai took a moment to absorb this information. Why now? Why us? Your world is small but unique. You have not been shaped by hegemony teaching. And you, Captain Tai, remind me of myself when I was young. She almost smiled. someone who stands when others kneel. What happens next? The final trial was supposed to be tomorrow, a test of loyalty to the hegemony. But now I offer a different path. The Empress's voice became urgent. My position is not as secure as it appears. There are those in my council who suspect my true intentions. Suddenly, alarms began to sound throughout the ship. The Empress looked up sharply. "It's too soon," she whispered. A voice came through a hidden speaker. "Empress, there is a security breach. Advisor Cole has called an emergency meeting of the High Council." The Empress turned to Ta. "It seems events have forced our hand. Now you must decide where you stand." "What do you mean?" "Cole has been watching us. He may have discovered my plans." Her black eyes held his. "The true trial begins now, Captain Ta. Will humanity stand with a rebellion or with the Empire?" Before Tai could answer, the door burst open. 4 armed guards burst into the room. They wore different uniforms than the regular hegemony soldiers. "Empress Jia," one of them said, "the High Council demands your presence. They have evidence of treason." The Empress's face remained calm. "Whose treason?" "Mine or theirs." "Please come with us," the guard said, not answering her question. The Empress looked at Ta. Her eyes seemed to say many things at once. Then she nodded and went with the guards. As soon as they left, Ta heard soft footsteps. The small blue alien who had brought him here reappeared from a hidden panel in the wall. Quickly, the alien said, "We don't have much time. The council is moving against her." "Who are you?" Tai asked. "My name is Rin. I serve the Empress, the real Empress, not the hegemony." Rin handed Tai a small device. "This will help you find your team. Get them and meet me at Docking Bay 12. "What's happening?" "Cole has been planning this for years. He believes the Empress has grown weak. He has proof she's been secretly changing hegemony laws to be less harsh on New Worlds." Tai thought quickly. "Why did she show herself to me?" "Because she saw something in you that reminded her of herself." Rin looked worried. "She has been alone for so long, fighting a battle no one knows about. Perhaps she was tired of being alone." Alarms continued to ring throughout the ship. Ta used the device to find his team's quarters. They were already awake and alert. "What's going on?" Dr. Yun asked. "There's no time to explain everything," Ta said. "The Empress is in danger. There's a coup happening." Sung looked confused. "Why should we care? Isn't she the one who threatened Earth?" "She's not who we thought she was," Ta said. "She's been working against the hegemony from within for thousands of years." Tai explained what the Empress had told him. His team listened with shocked faces. "So what do we do?" one of them asked. "We have a choice," Ta said. "We can try to get back to Earth and warn them about what's happening. Or we can help the Empress. If we help her, we might make an enemy of whoever takes over," some pointed out. "And if we run, Earth might face the full force of a hegemony led by someone like Cole," Tai replied. "Someone who won't even offer trials before attacking." Dr. Yun spoke up. "The Empress gave us a chance when she didn't have to. She saw something in us worth saving." "I agree," Ta said. "I think our best hope for Earth is to help her keep her power." The team moved quickly through the ship, following Rin's directions to Docking Bay 12. They had to hide several times as groups of soldiers ran past. At the docking bay, they found Rin waiting with a small ship ready. "Where are we going?" Tai asked. "To the Grand Council chamber," Rin said. "The Empress is being put on trial already. Cole has moved faster than anyone expected." They boarded the ship. Rin piloted it through a maze of corridors inside the massive ship. Ta had not realized how truly enormous the hegemony flagship was. "How will we help her?" Sung asked. "We are just 6 against an entire empire. Sometimes a small group is all you need to change history," Rin replied. They arrived at a huge door. Beyond it, they could hear raised voices. "The council is in session," Rin said. "Cole will be making his case against the Empress. What's his evidence? Tai asked. He has recordings of her meetings with resistance groups from different worlds. And now, her private meeting with you. Tai felt a chill. He was watching us. Yes, and your refusal to bow, your team's unusual solutions to the trials, all of it plays into his hands. He will say she has been corrupted by lesser species. Then we need to show them we're not lesser, Ta said. Sung checked her weapons. How do we get in? Rin touched the wall beside the door, revealing a hidden panel. There are always back doors if you know where to look. As the panel slid open, Tai took a deep breath. He was about to stand before the most powerful beings in the galaxy to defend an empress he barely knew. But one thing was certain. He would not bow to Cole or anyone who sought power through fear. Let's go, he said, and led his team into the unknown. The battle in the council chamber had been swift and surprising. No one had expected humans to fight for the empress. In the confusion, Tai and his team managed to help Jia escape, along with a small group of loyal followers. Now, 1 week later, they were approaching Earth in a medium-sized hegemony ship. Ta stood on the bridge beside Empress Jia, watching his blue planet grow larger in the view screen. Your world is beautiful, Jia said. Will they follow us here? Tai asked. Not immediately. Cole needs time to secure his position and convince the other worlds that he is the rightful ruler. Her voice was tired. But they will come eventually. The ship's communication system activated. A stern voice came through. Unidentified vessel. This is Earth Defense Command. Identify yourself immediately, or we will open fire. Ta stepped forward. This is Captain Tahan. I am returning with my team and guests who need asylum. There was a long pause. Captain Han, we were informed that you and your team had been killed when negotiations failed. Ta looked at Jia in surprise. Cole has been busy, she said quietly. He would want your world to believe you are dead. I am very much alive, Ta told Earth Command. And I have critical information. We need to land immediately. After more questions and security checks, they were given permission to land at a remote military base. As their ship descended, Tai saw the heavy weapons pointed at them from the ground. They don't trust us, Dr. Yun said. Can you blame them? Sung replied. For all they know, we could be controlled by aliens. When they landed, they were met by soldiers with weapons ready. General Park was at the front, her face stern but her eyes showing relief when she saw Ta. Captain Han, she said, we thought we had lost you. It's a long story, General. Ta gestured to Jia. This is Empress Jia. She needs our protection. General Park looked at the alien ruler with suspicion. The leader of the force threatening our world needs our protection. Former leader, Jia corrected. There has been a change in power. The new leadership will be far less willing to negotiate. They were taken to a secure facility where President Li and other world leaders had gathered. Ta explained everything. The trials, the coup, and Jia's true history as a resistance fighter who had infiltrated the hegemony leadership. So instead of facing one powerful alien who was secretly on our side, President Li summarized, we now face an entire empire led by someone who hates us. Not the entire empire, Jia said. There are worlds and groups within the hegemony who have never fully accepted its rule. With the right message, they might join us. The debate among Earth's leaders lasted for days. Some wanted to turn Jia over to Cole, hoping to make peace. Others wanted to prepare for all-out war. In the end, they decided to grant Jia asylum while building up Earth's defenses. During this time, Jia stayed in a guarded compound. Ta visited her often, teaching her about Earth's cultures and history. Your world has so many different ways of thinking, Jia said one day as they walked in a garden. So many different governments and religions and ideas. In the hegemony, there is only one way. That's what makes us strong, Ta said. We don't all have to agree to work together. Jia stopped by a small pond. On my world, before it was destroyed, we had a saying. A forest of one kind of tree is easily burned. A forest of many kinds survives the fire. I like that, Ta said. Jia touched a flower gently. I have not been on a living world for so long. I forgot what it feels like. One morning, alarms sounded across the world. Tay rushed to the command center where General Park was looking at a screen showing space around Earth. What is it? He asked. A small scout ship from the hegemony, she said. It appeared just beyond our moon, then vanished. They're watching us. Tada found Jia in her quarters. They found us. She nodded. Sooner than I expected, but not surprising. What do we do now? Jia's black eyes were resolved. We prepare for the real fight. Not just for Earth, but for all the world suffering under the hegemony's rule. For the first time, Tai saw why she had become empress. Behind her quiet words was a steel that had survived thousands of years of waiting and planning. Earth stands with you, he said. The question, Jia replied, is whether it will be enough. 3 weeks after the scout ship was spotted, Earth's worst fears came true. The sky filled with hegemony warships. There were 30 of them, all larger than anything humans had ever built. Ta stood in the Global Defense Command Center with General Park, President Lee, and Empress Jia. They watched the screens showing the approaching threat. Cole has brought a third of the hegemony fleet, Jia said. He wants to make an example of Earth. What are our chances? President Lee asked. General Park looked grim. Our best weapons might damage 1 or 2 of their ships, not 30. We have been preparing, Ta said. We have some advantages they don't know about. During the weeks since their return, Earth had used Jia's knowledge to upgrade their defenses. They had also hidden their best weapons, keeping them off any networks that might be watched by hegemony spies. The main screen lit up as a transmission came through. Advisor Cole, now calling himself Emperor Cole, appeared before them. People of Earth, he said, you harbor a traitor to the hegemony. Surrender the criminal Jia and submit to our rule or face destruction. President Lee stepped forward. We will not surrender anyone seeking asylum on our world, nor will we submit to threats. Cole's face showed no emotion. Then you have chosen extinction. You have 1 hour to reconsider. The transmission ended. He will not wait an hour, Jia warned. That is not his way. As if to prove her right, the first attacks began minutes later. Energy beams struck Earth's outer defense satellites, destroying them instantly. All forces engage according to Plan Theta, General Park ordered. Earth's military responded. Fighter jets launched. Ground-based weapons powered up. The few space vessels humans had managed to build moved into position. He expects us to focus our defense on major cities, Ta said. That's standard hegemony tactics. Then we don't do what he expects, General Park agreed. She turned to her officers. Spring the trap. Hidden weapons platforms suddenly activated around the globe. They had been disguised as weather stations, radio towers, even office buildings. They fired upward in perfect sync. On the screens, 3 hegemony ships took direct hits. 1 began to fall from the sky. How is this possible? Emperor Cole's voice came through again, now angry. Your weapons should not be able to hurt our ships. Jia stepped into view of the transmission camera. You forgot the first rule of war, Cole. Knowledge is power. I gave them what they needed to fight you. Traitor, Cole screamed. All ships, full attack. No mercy. The battle intensified. Hegemony ships launched smaller attack craft by the hundreds. They swarmed toward Earth like angry insects. Phase 2, Ta called out. Earth's hidden fleet rose from the oceans. These ships had been built in secret underwater bases using designs Jia had provided. They were smaller than the hegemony vessels, but incredibly fast. The space battle was chaotic. Earth was taking heavy damage, but they were fighting better than anyone had expected. 6 hegemony ships had been destroyed or disabled. They're targeting this command center, an officer reported. multiple attack craft incoming. We need to move to the backup facility, General Park said. As they prepared to evacuate, Jia pulled Tai aside. There is another way to end this. Cole wants me. If I surrender myself to him, he might spare your world. No, Ta said firmly. We don't sacrifice people. That's not our way. It may be the only way to save billions of lives. Or he might take you and destroy us anyway, Tai countered. We stand together. A massive explosion rocked the building. Part of the ceiling collapsed. We need to go now, Sung shouted from the doorway. They ran for the emergency transport. As they reached the landing pad, 3 hegemony attack craft appeared overhead. Take cover, Tai yelled. Energy blasts hit all around them. Ta pushed Jia behind a concrete barrier just as a blast struck where she had been standing. The transport is destroyed, General Park reported. We're trapped here. Ta looked up at the attack craft circling back for another pass. Then he noticed something on one of them. That's not a standard attack craft, he said. It's Cole's personal shuttle. Jia peered through the smoke. You're right. He came himself to ensure I was captured. More explosions hit nearby. Debris rained down on them. Ta felt something sharp strike his back, and pain flared through his body. He fell forward. Ta. Jia caught him before he hit the ground. He could feel blood soaking his uniform. The wound was bad. Get to the bunker below, he told the others. It's reinforced against their weapons. Not without you, Jia said, trying to help him up. I'll slow you down. Ta winced in pain. And Cole wants you, not me. Another blast hit nearby. Time was running out. I never thought I would care what happened to a human, Jia said quietly, her black eyes fixed on his. But I was wrong. Go, Tai urged her. Earth needs you. The resistance needs you. General Park and Sung pulled Jia away. We have to move now. As they disappeared into the building, Ta pulled himself up against a broken wall. He could see Cole's shuttle landing nearby. Despite the pain, Ta smiled grimly. Even wounded, he wasn't going to bow to Cole or anyone who ruled through fear. He raised his weapon and waited. Tai woke up slowly. He was in a white room that smelled clean. Medical equipment beeped softly nearby. His body felt stiff and sore, but he was alive. Welcome back, a familiar voice said. Tai turned his head to see Dr. Yun sitting beside his bed. She looked tired but smiled at him. How long was I out? He asked. His voice felt rough from disuse. 3 weeks, she replied. You almost died. Memory came back in pieces. The attack, being wounded, telling Jia to leave him behind. Then Cole's shuttle landing nearby. What happened? The battle. Dr. Yim's smile grew. We won. Somehow, we won. She explained that after Tai was wounded, something unexpected happened. Ships appeared from nowhere and attacked the hegemony fleet from behind. They were smaller ships with strange markings. The resistance, Tai realized. Jia's secret allies. Yes, they had been watching, waiting to see if Earth would stand with her. Dr. Yun checked his vital signs as she spoke. When they saw us fighting alongside her, they joined in. And Cole. Dead. He came for Jia himself, but Sung was waiting. She had doubled back to help you. Tab remembered nothing of this. What about the rest of the hegemony? In chaos. With Cole dead and many of his loyal ships destroyed, no one knows who is in charge. Dr. Yun paused. Jia has been speaking with the resistance leaders. They want her to return and claim leadership again. Where is she now? Right outside. She has barely left since they brought you here. The door opened, and Jia walked in. She looked different. She wore simple earth clothes, and her black eyes seemed softer somehow. You're awake, she said. Relief was clear in her voice. Apparently I'm hard to kill. Tai replied with a weak smile. I will give you two some privacy, Dr. Yun said, leaving the room. Jia sat in the chair beside Ta's bed. The doctors say you will recover fully. I hear we won. Yes, thanks to Earth's bravery and the resistance finally showing themselves. She looked out the window at the blue sky. The hegemony will never be the same. What happens now? The resistance leaders want to form a new alliance, not an empire ruled by fear, but a true partnership between worlds. She turned back to him. They want me to lead it. Will you? I have fought for this moment for thousands of years. Jia seemed thoughtful. But I cannot do it alone. I need representatives from worlds who understand what true freedom means. Like Earth, Ta said. Yes, and I was hoping that you might be willing to help. Once you recover, of course. Ta was surprised. Me? I'm just a captain. You are the man who refused to bow when everyone else did. The man who stood by his principles even when facing an empire. Her black eyes held his. That is exactly what this new alliance needs. 3 months later, representatives from 100 worlds gathered on a neutral planet. The newly formed Galactic Alliance was signing its founding charter. Empress Jia, now called simply Leader Jia, stood at the center. Tai, fully recovered, stood nearby with representatives from Earth and the former resistance. The room was filled with beings of all shapes and sizes, many who had once been enemies. The first article of our charter, Jia announced, states that all member worlds are equal. No world may demand the submission of another. Murmurs of approval filled the room. And to symbolize this, she continued, we have created a new greeting for official meetings. She turned to Ta and the others at the table. Then, to everyone's surprise, she bowed slightly from the waist. Every other representative, including Ta, returned the gesture. We bow to each other as equals, Jia explained to the assembly, not in submission, but in mutual respect. Later, when the ceremony was over, Jia found Ta looking out at the stars from a large window. You finally bowed, she said with a small smile. I never refused to bow out of pride, Ta explained. I refused because it meant submitting to someone who demanded it through fear and power. I know, Jia said. That is why it made such an impression on me. In all my thousands of years, I had forgotten the difference between respect freely given and submission taken by force. And now the whole galaxy will know the difference, Ta said. It will not be easy, Jia warned. There are still those who prefer the old ways. Nothing worth doing is ever easy. They stood in comfortable silence, watching the stars. The same stars that had once seemed to promise only threat and conquest now held the promise of something new. He never bowed in submission, Jia said softly, almost to herself. And she never forgot it. Is that going to become one of those sayings that gets passed down for generations? Tai asked with a smile. Perhaps, Jia replied. Some moments change everything that comes after. Outside the window, ships from 100 worlds moved peacefully among the stars. Each one different, each one valued, each one free. And it had all started because one man had stood when others knelt.